Hello everyone, welcome back to Shiksha Proficient Academy. Formal letter and informal letter. Let us begin. So here we have our chart. The letter is divided into two forms, formal letter and informal letter. A formal letter is one which is usually written for some request, permission or complaint to someone whom we don't know personally. There are several types of formal letters: business letter, complaint letter, application letter, letters to the head of an institution, letters to editor, permission letters. Whereas, coming to informal letter, an informal letter is written to our friends, relatives, and neighbors. We write them for several purposes like thanksgiving, advising, asking for favor, describing or narrating an incident, conveying condolence, or inviting. So let us understand the format of an informal letter. As mentioned earlier, an informal letter is written to people whom we know personally, like our friends, relatives, and neighbors. There are few points which are important to note while drafting an important letter. The correct format, use casual language, emotions should be expressed clearly. Now let's understand the format of an informal letter. To the left corner, we write the sender's address without any punctuation. For example, Shiv Apartments, MG Road, Pune 411004. See, I haven't put any punctuation mark, any full stop, comma, nothing. Below the address, we write the date in date, month, and year format. For example, 7th May 2020, 23rd March 2021. I have put a comma after the month. And see, I have written the entire name, the entire spelling of the month, and not just 05 or 03. Then from the left corner, we start the letter with a salutation. Dear dash. For example, Dear Roshan, Dear Roshni, Dearest Grandpa, Dear Dad. Add a comma after the name. And then from the next line, we begin our letter. We can use some beginnings like it has been quite a long time since you penned me your last letter. I received your letter today and I am really glad to know that I was thinking about you today and I received your letter. It's really shocking to know that you have decided to, in case of shocking news. We were stunned to know about your father's sudden demise. It is difficult to believe that he is no more in this world. In case of condolence letter, I feel so happy to tell you about a wonderful thing that happened when you are narrating an incident. I cannot describe in words how grateful I am for the wonderful gift that you sent me for my, in case you are thankful or grateful. These beginnings can be varied according to various situations. There are certain things you must remember. The content of the letter should be written in 3 paragraphs, 1, 2, and 3, all beginning from the left margin, no keeping a space. The letter can end with a friendly note, like for example, I will be glad to hear from you. Just drop a line when you have time. Please convey my regards to your parents and love to your younger brother or sister. I am really sorry that I could not attend. In case when you want to apologize. Please accept my best wishes for your future. Please let me know if I can do anything for you. Then end the letter with a closing remark. Your loving, or for example, your loving son or daughter. Yours lovingly. Your niece or nephew. Then write the sender's first name in the next line. For example, David or Daisy. I repeat the format. Sender's address without any punctuation, date in date, month and year format, leave a line, salutation. We begin our letter from the next line on the left margin. We leave a line in each paragraph. We end our letter with a closing remark and the name of the sender. This is a format for an informal letter. Let's look at the marking scheme of an informal letter. We have sender's address and date for half mark. The salutation carries half mark. Main body of the letter carries 2.5 mark. Closing remark carries half mark. And overall grammar carries 1 mark, making it total 5 marks. We have seen the format of an informal letter. Now let's see the format of a formal letter. To the left corner, we write the name of the sender. Below, we write sender's address without any punctuation marks. I repeat, no comma, no full stop. For example, David Matthew, Shiv Apartments, MG Road, Pune, 411004. Since this is the new format, please make sure you do not fumble in punctuation. On the next line, we write date in date, month and year format, same as in informal letter, 7th May, 2020, 23rd March, 2021. I am stressing on this part that we need to put a comma after month. Then leaving one line, we write receiver's address. But before, we write the designation. Earlier, in old format, we would write to the dash. But now in the new format, we do not mention the word to. We directly write the designation. Let us look at some designation. The manager, the principal, the mayor, the editor, the secretary, the municipal commissioner, and so on. In the next line, we write the receiver's address. I'm using my own Shiksha Proficient Academy. I'm just using a dummy address, JM Road, Pune 411005. Again, we will leave a line and write our subject. Formal letter requires a subject. The subject should be short and to the point. For example, request to build a sports club, complaint regarding nuisance of hawkers, permission for participation in quiz competition, wanton cutting of trees, application for a scholarship. Now, if required, we also have to give reference. Reference which is needed when you have to respond to a newspaper advertisement. Reference means you would give the source from where you got to know about any job or some offers which you wish to apply for. For example, your advertisement in the Times of India dated 1st May 2020 from the classified columns of Nagpur Daily dated 30th March 2021. So, if you are applying for a job, you might have read it somewhere in some newspaper. So that's what we are mentioning. Their advertisement in so and so newspaper. You can write your own name. Make sure the date that you write in the reference section should be 1 or 2 days prior to the date you are writing the letter. Now you leave one line and then write salutation. Sir and Madam. When we write Sir and Madam, we can write it in a case where you are writing a complaint letter or you are addressing to an editor. We write Dear Sir or Dear Madam when we want to seek permission. We write Respected Principal and or Respected Teacher in case when you are addressing to your school teacher or your school or college principal. Insert comma after the salutation. Then begin from the next line. Again, you may use some beginnings like I, dash, a student of 9th B, would like to request you to I, a resident of the above address, want to draw your kind attention towards the problem of I, the undersigned, have written this letter to inform you that I, a regular leader of your esteemed newspaper, want to request you to highlight the issue of dash in your dignified newspaper. A formal letter should be written in 3 paragraphs. 1, 2, 3. The first paragraph must contain your introduction or the purpose of writing the letter. The second paragraph must have details and suggestions. Third paragraph should be for summarizing, pleading, or asking for favor with a positive note. Some examples. I am sure you will do it. These are the closing statements. I hope my plea doesn't fall on deaf ears. Awaiting for a positive reply. How you end your letter. These are the examples. Then end the letter with a thank you note. You can also write thank you, thanking you, or thanking you in anticipation. Make sure you keep one line space in between your paragraphs. And your paragraphs must start from the left margin. And finally, the closing remark towards the left corner. Yours truly. Sender's full name. Yours sincerely or yours truly, David Matthew. Yours obediently or yours faithfully, David Matthew. Now, when we write sincerely or truly, we write it for other people. But when you mention yours obediently or faithfully, we write it to principal or teacher. After this, mention enclosures in next line. I know it might be new for you. What are enclosures? Enclosures always must be written in the end. Enclosures refer to the other document you wish to attach along with your letter. For example, a copy of dash certificates, maybe your merit certificate, your passing certificate, or your caste certificate, a photograph of dash, a photocopy of dash. You may attach your photocopy of different certificates, your courses. So when we apply for a job or when we need to attach some proofs or CV, we mention enclosures, all the documents we have attached herewith. I hope you have got the format very clear. Sender's name, sender's address, date, month, year. Left side, keep a single line space. Receiver's designation, receiver's address. Leave a line, subject, reference if needed. Leave a line, salutation, comma. Begin your letter from the next line on the left side. Leave a single line in between your paragraphs. End it with a thank you note. Next line, you write your closing remark, that is yours truly, yours sincerely, yours faithfully, yours obediently, and sender's full name. Enclosure is required only when you are submitting a job application, usually. So let us look at the marking scheme. Sender's name and sender's address and date, month, year format carries half mark. The designation and receiver's address carries half mark. Subject or reference carries half mark. The main body of our formal letter carries 2 marks. The closing statements carries half mark. Overall grammar carries 1 mark. Totally 5 marks. We will learn how to draft a letter. So we'll see drafting of formal and informal letters. This question carries 5 marks. There's an important note. Read the question of letters carefully as it may have a lot of important information which you have to use in your letters. Usually we get this question with certain key points and background, due to which reading question carefully is really important. Now we will look at certain examples just like the ones we get in our board exams. So that's our example number 1. Here we are given a situation. We are also given some key points and background, and on the basis of those we are given 2 options, informal letter and formal letter. So let's read the question now. You are Neha or Nihal Nagar. The name they have given, we have to imagine we are either Neha or Nihal Nagar from 6 Suman Apartments, VP Road, Miraj 416410. So we have also been given the address. So in the place of sender's address, we will write this part. Attempt any one of the following letters with the help of the following. We have to attempt any one of these letters with the help of this following. Save water for our survival. Every year we face severe water shortage. Let us save every drop of water, begin recycling of water, start rainwater harvesting programs, prevent water wastage in households and industries, build storage tanks in fields and perform drip irrigation. This sounds like a pamphlet. We must use these points in our letter. So on basis of this, we have informal and formal letter. Informal, the one we write to our family, friends and relatives, and formal, that we write to the people we are not much familiar with. So let's read the first question. Write a letter to your friend describing the plight in your city due to water shortage and the actions to be taken. Whereas formal letter is, write a letter to your mayor of the city requesting him or her to provide better facilities to face water shortage. So we have seen both the questions, and usually you are given the option to attempt any one, but we will look at both the answers right now. So the first we have is informal letter. We have written the same address as provided in the question, 6 Suman Apartments, VP Road, Miraj 416410, 17th May 2020. We were not provided with the date. I have put my own. So leaving one line, I start with my salutation, Dear Namrata. This part here, the address and the date is known as the heading. Salutation, Dear Namrata. Next line, we begin the body of our letter. We begin from the left margin itself. The entire letter is written from the left margin. There is no spacing. Hi there, how are you? How are things in your city? I'm sorry to say that here the main topic of conversation is the prevailing water shortage. This year, all the residents of this area have decided to take action and do something about the water shortage we face every year. Besides saving every drop of water, we are going to begin recycling of water. We have already developed rainwater harvesting programs. Committees have been formed to keep a strict watch over the amount of water used in households and industries. Farmers who build storage tanks in their fields and have drip irrigation methods will be given seeds and fertilizers at discounted rates. We are trying to think up more ways to save water and store rainwater. I will be really happy if you can give us some ideas, as you have a degree in environmental science. How is the water situation in your city? Give my regards to your parents. Again we give a space. Your loving friend Neha, the name we were provided. So this part is known as the body, where after each paragraph we leave one line. Yes, but we begin the paragraph from the left margin itself. This part, your loving, your dash, is known as subscription and then the signature. Let's move to the next question, the formal one. I have used the same heading, that is the same address and the day. Let's see the designation part. The mayor, Raj Bhavan, SV Road, Miraj 416410. Please note I haven't mentioned here 2, and you can see there is no punctuation marks at the end. Next line we write subject, the prevailing water shortage in our locality. I suggest you all to please underline the subject. We leave a line and start with our salutation. Sir, I wish to draw your attention to the acute water shortage faced by the residents in this locality, as well as the whole city. This is the scenario that we face every year, and yet no concrete steps are taken to prevent it. I am a student who is disturbed by this negligence, and I request you to do something on a war footing this year. Please have programs and campaigns to sensitize people about the need to save every drop of water and prevent wastage both in households as well as in industries. We leave a line and begin with the next paragraph. A letter can have 2 or 3 paragraphs. Severe punishment must be imposed on those who waste water. We can rope in people who will advise us on how to recycle water and also start rainwater harvesting. Maybe farmers who build storage tanks in their fields and use a drip irrigation system can be given incentives. I am an environmentalist and will be happy to help you in any I can. Finally, I request you to provide us with better facilities to face this water shortage. Thanking you. We leave a line and we write our subscription. Yours faithfully, Neha Nagar. We write yours faithfully, the word faithfully, when we do not know the name of the person. And we write yours sincerely when we know the person personally. Let's look at another example. Write an application for the post of a salesman or saleswoman in a company looking for fresh young graduate. Address your letter to the manager, Indian Chemicals Limited, Lakshmi Road, Nagpur 440002. So here you can clearly see we are writing an application for the post of a salesman or saleswoman. We are not given the name that we should use for our own, nor an address for sender's address. But yes, we are given the address to whom we have to write. We have to write the letter to the manager of Indian Chemical Limited. This company, the address is Lakshmi Road, Nagpur 440002. So we have to use these points. Considering these points, we will draft our next formal letter. This is a dummy address we use. 54 Sundar Street, Lakshmi Nagar, Nagpur 440002, 20th December 2019. The manager, Indian Chemical Limited, Lakshmi Road, Nagpur 440002. We leave a right subject, application for the post of a salesman. Again, we write the reference. Now, whenever you write application for a job, you must mention the reference from where did you get the advertisement. So we are writing here the Indian Express. That's the name of our newspaper. Situation vacant, page 4, column dated 19/12/2019. So I'm writing the letter on 20th December and I read it on 19th, a day before, and I have mentioned where I saw this advertisement showing they had vacancy. Now I leave a line and begin with my letter. Dear Sir, I, the undersigned, wish to apply for the post of a salesman in your esteemed company. I am 22-year-old and I am a science graduate from Nagpur University. I secured 57% marks in the final examination. I can speak English, Hindi and Marathi fluently and have worked as a salesman for Soap Products Limited during my vacations. So looking at the situation, we must know what points we are using. That we should be eligible by age, by a profession, by our education, and also we are showing here that we have work experience. I am now working in a chemist shop on a temporary basis, but wish to better my prospects. I assure you of my devoted service. Should you consider me for the post? Enclosed with this letter is a photocopy of my degree certificate. Enclosed means we are attaching something along with our letter. So when you are applying for a job, they need a proof that you have actually had these degrees which you are claiming. Thanking you in anticipation. Thanking you in anticipation, we are showing that we are eagerly waiting for their reply. Yours truly. Again, truly we write when we don't know the person personally to whom we are writing. XYZ. I was not given a name in the question, so I better chose to write XYZ instead of writing my own name. We write your enclosure, copy of degree certificate. It is essential to show this part when you are writing an application for a job. Moving forward to our next question. Again we have a situation. Imagine that you are Rohit or Rohini Raj from Ganesh Society, Apple Street, Pune 411004. Attempt any one of the given letters using the points from the following leaflet. So this is the leaflet we have been provided, and we can either attempt informal letter or the formal letter. So let's read the leaflet. Stay healthy, stay fit, reasonable fees. Yoga for all. Essential in modern age, reduce tension, provides energy, develops concentration. Join the classes, Yoga for all. Special batches for students. Ganesh Society, Apple Street, Pune 411004. So we can see this is a leaflet of a classes, yoga classes. And these are the advantages of yoga they have mentioned and what concessions and special they are providing for the students. So on basis of this, we have two letters. Let's see. The informal letter. Write a letter to your younger brother, telling him about the importance of yoga and advising him to join yoga classes. So this is very easy because you already are given the advantages or importance of yoga. Here we just need to elaborate these points. Here, write a letter to your school headmaster or headmistress requesting him or her to start yoga classes in your school. Again, if you are requesting them to start a yoga class, you must tell them the advantages or importance of yoga. So similarly, we have these points which we can use. Let's see the informal letter first. I've written the same address that I was provided. Dear Rohan, hi dear, how are you? How is your health now? Have you recovered from your bout of fever? I am fine here with Didi and Jiju. It is raining quite heavy and it is green all around. I have joined a yoga class here a month back, and I have found that it has made a remarkable difference in my health. I do not get tired easily and feel energetic even after a long day at college. I find I can concentrate better on my studies too. My stress levels have gone. Just half an hour of yoga daily has helped me considerably. So, here we are creating a situation. Why must we suggest our younger brother to go for a yoga class? You are in standard 10 and now, and I know that you are working hard. Mummy tells me that you get tired and tense very often. I would suggest you enroll yourself in some good yoga classes for students where the fees are reasonable and practice yoga regularly. It is essential in today's world. You will then remain healthy and fit. Do it for a month and then you will never stop. Bye now. Love to all at home. Your loving brother, Rohit. Again, let's see the informal letter now. Students of Standard 10, Jeevan Vidya School, Pune, 411004, 22nd July 2020. Because we are writing to a school headmaster, we must use the address of the school. Again, the headmaster, Jeevan Vidya School, Pune, 411004. We leave a line and write our subject, request for yoga classes in our school. So here we are not putting any reference. It is only about a request. We are not applying for a job here. Respected sir, we the students of 10 request you to start yoga classes in the school. We have read that yoga provides energy, reduces tension and helps students to concentrate. It will help us deal better with the stress in board exams. Perhaps special batches only for standard 10 students charging reasonable fees can be held. You mentioned in your speech during assembly yesterday that staying fit and healthy is essential in our modern age. We feel that yoga is answer to our problems. Please consider our suggestions. We promise you that we will do all the necessary arrangements. So you see, this formal letter that we write, a formal letter always must be to the point and in a polite manner. I write here yours sincerely, Rohit Raj, for the students of Standard 10, because only one student cannot take the stand for this. You must have an agreement with other rest students too. That's why we are mentioning here for the students of Standard 10.
Expansion of idea. So this is our part 1 video which consists of introduction. So let's begin. What is expansion of idea or expansion of theme or expansion of proverb? Now the reason why I ask this is because people generally consider essay writing and expansion of idea to be same. But I must tell you, my dear students, that's not the case. Essay writing and expansion of idea are different. So let us see how are essay writing or essay different from expansion of idea. Beginning with an essay, what is an essay? So literally the word means attempt. Essays are usually an attempt to put forth your thoughts in good English. It is a written composition which expresses your personal opinions or gives information on any given subject. So you see, in an essay writing, you basically have a topic given and you just put forth your personal opinion, whether negative or positive, In that essay, you elaborate it, you turn it into paragraphs, and form it in a good English. That's it. But when it comes to expansion of idea, here we have to expand. Yes, here you are expected to enlarge an idea or a proverb. You can add more sentences, paragraphs, supply other related thoughts, examples, details, or proofs, or so on. We expand these ideas so that the reader gets a better and clear understanding of the topic covered. This is really important. Why do we do this? Because when we are getting that idea or a theme provided, we already know the meaning, we already have an opinion. It is just one-sided opinion. You cannot have positive or negative. Whatever it is, you just have to make it understand. You have to elaborate it. In my words, I also call it explanation. Because once you know what the proverb means, all you need is to explain it in your own words. Now the question is how to attempt this question. So I'll explain you in 4 different steps. In this question, a proverb, a slogan, or a quotation will be given to you. You are expected to expand the theme or the idea contained briefly. Briefly means to the point, with the help of short explanation or examples. Next, it should have a systematic order. The expansion of ideas should have a proper beginning and an ending. The ideas should flow effortlessly. You may write down your ideas in 2 or 3 short paragraphs or as instructed in the question. Always give a title and begin properly. It is again connected with a systematic order. A title you are already given, so you must always write the title. Let's look at the marking scheme of expansion of idea. Title and beginning carries 1 mark. Vocabulary and grammar 1 mark. Appropriate points 1 mark. Logical order 1 mark. Conclusion 1 mark. Total 5 marks. So let's begin with a few examples. The topic that I've chosen first is pollution, Earth's enemy number 1. The reason I chose this topic because in Maharashtra board, usually this topic is taken in writing skills where maybe you can get this topic for your expansion of idea or for speech writing or for some news report or in letters, any form. Or you can also have this twisted forms like either it won't be pollution, the earth's enemy number 1. It can be save earth. We are part of nature but not a part of nature. It can be green city, clean city, or anything related to earth and saving earth or green earth. So let's begin with this expansion now. I must tell you, do not begin your expansion with lines like the given proverb means that. No, you must not use this. Let the meaning come through your explanation and in your summing up. So we'll see how to frame it in a proper flow. All the paragraphs should be systematic in order. Over the past few years, the environmentalists have been constantly issuing warnings that if man does not take steps to preserve the environment, the earth may become a dead planet. The major causes of deterioration are pollution and deforestation. Modern civilization and material progress have resulted in pollution everywhere, in the atmosphere, on the land, in the seas, and in the rivers. Air is polluted by smoke, gases, and chemicals emitted by vehicles and factories. Besides this, there is noise pollution in big cities caused by vehicles, machines, loudspeakers, and crackers. Pollution poisons the air and harms the ozone layer that protects us from the sun's radiation. Tons of industrial and chemical waste are thoughtlessly dumped into our rivers, lakes, and seas, which is a threat to marine life. In the past, trees and greenery provided a protective shield to man because of the ability to convert carbon dioxide into oxygen. The ecological imbalance resulting from man's greed is leading us to serious danger. One cannot expect man to turn back and retrace his steps. Nevertheless, it would be advisable to switch to eco-friendly alternatives. If we do not end it, it will end us. So you can see how our expansion went in a flow. All the paragraphs were connected. Yes. Also, we put another quotation. We can use more quotation or slogans or slangs or examples. But here I am using this in the end of the paragraph or the end of the expansion to highlight it. Let us look at another one. I think the pollution part was very much clear because all of you had this in the past years. So moving forward to our next topic, it is time and tide waits for none or no one. Along with it, we have procrastination is the thief of time, or a stitch in time saves nine. All of these topics have a same meaning, that is, if you sort out a problem immediately, it may save extra work later. So, if you have any of this topic, you can know that all of these mean the same and your matter can also be the same. So I'm just putting a short matter here. You can add your own views on it. Here I am beginning my paragraph with a couplet. So you saw that in the previous example we put a special quotation in the end of the expansion. Here we are beginning with it. काल करे सो आज करे सो अब पल में प्रलय होएगी बहुरी करोगे कब. In this couplet, Saint Kabir has clearly tried to explain the human tendency of laziness and procrastination. Flow of time is like the flow of river. There is no stopping to the onward motion of the flowing waters. Similarly, the progress of time cannot be hindered. It is said that lost wealth is often retrieved, lost health can be restored, but lost time is lost forever. Time does not wait for anyone, so if one cannot catch up with it, one has to suffer. Time is an ever-moving phenomena which knows no rest. Men should work hard and make full use of the time at hand. By wasting time, they would only land themselves in distress. Life is really very short, and the time at your disposal should never be misused. So you see here, I begin with a couplet which is actually in Hindi, but we can really use it in our writing skills, but not all the time. So this is a highlight, that's why I have used it as it is, and I have explained it in a form. I've mentioned who has written it. If you don't know, you can just write the couplet and you can say it is a famous couplet or a doha. And here again, I have highlighted it. You can start from the margin also if you wish. I am just wishing to highlight it, so I've written in the center. See, in the previous example, I told you we can add more proverbs or thoughts at the end or the beginning or the middle, but you need to make sure that everything should go in the proper order And please never overdo the thoughts and proverbs. You should use minimum 2 or 3, that's it, not more than that. Now let's move forward to our next example, and the topic is the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. So this sounds complicated. What is it? The hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. So we know it's not the hand that rocks the cradle, it's the person, and the person who rocks the cradle, or the person who nurtures us when we are small as a child, is a mother. So here it means a mother's upbringing determines the character of the child. So let's look at the answer. A mother gives all her love to her baby. Children usually grow up in the care of their mothers. For a baby, his mother fondly feeds him with milk, bathes him, and cradles him. It is the mother who sees the first smile on the lips of a child, and she dreams of making it a permanent one. Mother is the first and the best teacher. Child learns its first lesson from the mother. Most of the child's moral training is given by the mother. She creates permanent impressions upon the mind of the child. Naturally, it is the mother who has the greatest and the strongest influence on the child. What children do in the world as men and women is largely determined by what their mothers did for them when they were small. What they have been taught on by the mother's lap will then be guiding force behind the decisions they make. The child then grows up to be an important personality, perhaps someone who decides the destiny of the people or countries, because it is the mother who molds the character of the child. No wonder it was that Abraham Lincoln said, "All that I am or hope to be, I owe to my angel mother." We have the example of Jijamata, who inspired Shivaji Maharaj as a child with the stories of great heroes. It is this inspiration that led him to lead the battle for Hindavi Swaraj and to establish the Maratha Empire. Napoleon was right when he declared that by educating the women, we educate and uplift the whole nation. One may not turn out to be a great ruler, but they have been taught by their mother during childhood, and that will guide them throughout their life. So again you can see I have used twice a quotation, first for Abraham Lincoln and then again for the Napoleon, but this time because it was not a direct speech, I just highlighted by underlining it. I have highlighted the words Jijamata and Shivaji Maharaj, Napoleon, and the Abraham Lincoln saying. So everywhere I did not choose that I will always begin my expansion with a proverb or end it with a proverb. You can use it anywhere you wish to, in all any paragraph you wish to. Make sure you do not exceed your length too much, because when we exceed it too much, more than 3 or 4 paragraphs, it comes to become an essay. And we are not writing an essay, we are writing expansion where you just need to explain the topic. Top 15 ideas or proverbs which are most likely to come in your exams. These are very essential. I won't tell you the entire expansion, but I will explain you the meaning in short. So let's begin with our first proverb. A bad workman blames his tool. We say, Nach na jane angan teda. A person who has done something badly will always seek for an excuse to blame on other things or other person. Like we always think this failure of ours was because of that person or because my instrument was not working. So let's do our next one. A thing of beauty is joy forever. Now, what does this mean? It means experience with beauty lasts more than its visible beauty. A beautiful object, natural or artificial, makes a person happy for a longer time even when its beauty fades. Like when you're surrounded with nature for once a while, and even when you recall it later on, you will still feel the same happiness in your heart. Next, we have a rolling stone gathers no moss. What does this mean? A person who does not settle in one place will not accumulate wealth or status or respect. Yes, so we must always stick to one place and be loyal with them. Next, don't judge a book by its cover, or all that glitters is not gold. One and the same thing. What does that mean? हर चमकती चीज सोना नहीं होती. Yes, our outward appearance cannot indicate someone's or something's value or worth. We should not judge them by their appearance. Next, as you sow, so shall you reap. जैसी करनी, वैसी भरनी. Things will happen to you the way you behave according to your behavior. So that's about karma. Next, we have action speaks louder than words, or example is better than precept. What do we mean by that? उपदेश से करनी भली. That means what you do is more important than what you say, because things that you do show your true intentions. So instead of telling everyone what to do, you must first show them. Next, we have charity begins at home. People really don't know the meaning of this because they take it in a wrong way. It is a simple meaning. It means a person's first responsibility is for the needs of their own family and friends, near and dear ones. Next, we have handsome is as handsome does. So it is nothing about being handsome. The proverb means character and behavior of a person is more important than their appearance. Again, we must not judge a people by their outward look. Next, we have failures are the stepping stones to success. असफलता ही सफलता की सीढ़ी है. Yes, don't be disappointed by failure because it will motivate you to overcome your loss in the next attempt. Also, failures keep us down to earth and humble. Empty vessels make the most sound, or speech is silver, but silence is golden. This proverb really talks about bolvachans. Yes, people who talk a lot about their knowledge, talent, or experience are often not as knowledgeable, talented, or experienced as they claim to be. Next, we have to err is human, to forgive is divine. Here, the word err means error. So, मानव गलती करता है, but ईश्वर क्षमा करता है. It means it is human nature to make mistakes oneself while finding it hard to forgive others. So we must start forgiving people. Next, we have prevention is better than cure. समय रहते सावधानी रखना बाद में पछताने से बेहतर है. It means it is easier to stop something happening in the first place than to repair the damage after it has happened. Perseverance is the key to success, or practice makes man perfect, or Rome was not built in a day. All are one thing, that is, Rome एक दिन में नहीं बना था. Important work takes time. Your continuous hard work and dedication will surely lead you to success one day, but till then, you must keep on trying and practicing till you are perfect. Necessity or adversity is the mother of invention. Sweet are the uses of adversity. Every cloud has silver lining. निराशा में एक उम्मीद की किरण जरूर होती है. So that means when the need of something becomes essential, you are forced to find ways of getting or achieving it. So now we will go back to our last topic, that is cut your coat according to your cloth. This is really important because I got this comment and someone has asked me to please explain on this topic if I could make a video on this. So this proverb really means jitni chadar ho utni hi pair phailao. Like undertake only what you have, the money or ability to do, and no more. You must be satisfied with what you have. You must have self-control, and we should not be greedy because greed often leads to downfall. Never use I in your expansion of idea because it would look like speech writing. We will look at speech writing part 1, where I will tell you the introduction and some vital tips to attempt this question. Let's begin. What is speech writing? Speech writing is an art of conveying a message to your audience. It is developing content for yourself or another public speaker, the goal of which is to appeal to the audience. The objective of a speech is to express and convey your opinions, view, knowledge, and thoughts to an audience. It is also useful in enhancing one's communication skills. In an examination, nothing is written purposelessly. All the written tasks have a purpose. Before writing a speech, make sure you are writing to inform people, to persuade or convince them, to entertain them, or to instruct them. Clarity of purpose will ensure clarity in the choice of style and vocabulary. This question carries 10 marks for CBSE board and 5 marks for SSC board. How to write a perfect speech? In order to write a perfect speech, we must be well acquainted with the topic, that is, we must know the topic very well. We must have a thorough knowledge of the subject, a wide range of vocabulary, some research and excellent organizational skills that we can be able to organize the paragraphs or our ideas in systematic manner. Let us look at the ideal format of speech writing. A perfect speech must consist of heading. Yes, the heading should be catchy and in not more than 5 to 6 words. You can go as creative as you want with this one. Just make sure you do not devote too much time on it in the exam. Next, we have opening line. This includes salutations, introduction, and the topic. Make sure you do not mention your personal details, that is name, school name, etc. For example, you can say, respected principal, teachers, and my dear friends. Today, I. Here, the name that you will give should be the one that is mentioned in the question paper. Today I, so and so, stand before you all to speak on the topic. Now the topic also you will say that is mentioned in the question. Or you could start with a quote related to the topic and then go with the salutations and introduction. Next, the most important part is body. It is the main part of your writing piece. It is always prescribed that you begin with a short introduction on the topic. It's meant to be precise, that is, it is meant to be to the point. Then you need to explain the current situation, the problems if any, and whether after any corrective actions there has been observed any betterment in the situation. Like you can tell the current situation of pollution or the corruption, any which ways. It may include advantages or disadvantages depending upon the topic in question. Now here it is important you follow a sequence. It is possible that you have too many points or very few points. When you have a lot of varied points, it is better you choose a few best ones and write a line on each. In case you have very few points, explain them in at least 2 lines each. You have to strictly follow the prescribed word limit in a limited time frame so that you don't go on writing and writing. It is the most important point that always begin with your strongest point. You can accommodate the weaker ones in between and end with another strong point. Feel free to give your personal opinion in 1 or 2 lines. It is very important that you do not deviate from the topic. There are chances you may get ideas linking from one to another that may deviate you from the main point. You have to refrain from doing so. Next, we have solution or concluding paragraph. Now, it is to be remembered that whenever you elaborate a problem, you always have to mention the steps being taken to improvise the situation and suggest a few solutions as well. Like when you are mentioning the problem in body, you have to give some suggestive measures in your concluding paragraph. Now it would be great if you could add a few quotes relating to motivating the people to take action. Last but not the least, the concluding line, that is thanking the audience for their cooperation and their patience. It is very important to conclude what you have started. Never leave a speech or for that matter any of your answer open-ended. I hope you understood the format. Now let's look at some vital tips. Here are a few valuable tips for you. First, use suitable language for the audience. Usage of complex vocabulary for addressing children is not advisable. You must know which kind of audience you are referring to, and according to that you must use the suitable language. Next, usage of quotes is highly recommended. Quotes can be used at the time of beginning or as an ending statement. A quote in the middle of the speech would also be fine. Always have a few general quotes in handy. They help in presentation and show that you are prepared. Third, write in paragraphs. Make sure you write in paragraphs, 2 or 3. Next, plan before you pen. That is, just make a list of all your important points on a rough sheet, that is your last sheet of the answer booklet, so that you don't forget relevant points while writing. This also helps you in maintaining a sequence, which is very important. Fifth, practice previous year's question papers. Sixth, read newspaper editorials or opinions. They give new ideas and opinions that may help during exam. Read as many samples as you can. It will give you an idea as to how they are actually written. Eighth, underlining the main points is very important, but it is advised to do it after finishing your exam. Use a pencil and scale for underlining. 9. It should look presentable. It should look presentable where you must leave adequate number of lines between the paragraphs to make it look clean. And last, 10. Double check for grammatical accuracy and spellings. They really carry marks. In our part 2 video, we will learn different ways to begin our speech and how to conclude it. And I will also share some samples of speech writing so that you get clearer idea. Let's look at ways to begin. These points that I will share with you are some common phrases with which you can begin the first paragraph of your speech. You can use your own points too. Here, I am sharing general statements with you all. Here, first one is, all of you are familiar with. You can begin your first line with, all of you are familiar with the situation of corruption or the situation of pollution, I stand before you to speak on the topic of so on. As the saying goes, so here you can begin with any common saying, just like honesty is the best policy, kind of. I welcome you all on the occasion of Republic Day or Independence Day, or as per your wish. Next, we have ways to conclude. Again, these points can be altered as per your needs and can be used to begin your conclusion paragraph or the last paragraph. You can begin your conclusion paragraph with "in my opinion." You can share your opinion here. In my last video, I told you you are open to tell your opinions. As a responsible citizen of our country, we must take steps like, so you here in your conclusion paragraph must always give the steps that you can take or preventive measures, as I told you in the previous video. Need of the hour is to take preventive measures against corruption, to facilitate better, like to facilitate better, our school must take the responsibility of cleanliness and whatever you want to add more. Now it is the time to act, or now it is the time to raise your voice against whatever the topic. I would like to conclude by saying these are the points you can use to begin your conclusion paragraph. Next, let us look at some samples. In the first question, we have prepare a speech to be delivered for district level elocution competition. The subject given to you is how to live a happy and joyful life. Use the following points. Live in a stress-free atmosphere, daily meditation and exercise, be in a company of cheerful people, take inspiration from great people. Here's the answer. Respected judges, teachers, and my dear friends, hello and good morning. I am XYZ, and I hope that you will listen to me patiently for a few minutes, for I will give you some ideas on how to live a happy and joyful life. There is a lot of stress in the world of today. Even young children like us undergo stress. The first thing to do is to try and get rid of this stress. That is, to try to live in a stress-free atmosphere. How can we do this? One way is to meditate daily and take some form of exercise, like doing yoga, playing games, etc. Helping others also makes one happy. Our mind plays a big role in keeping us happy. Therefore, we must remain cheerful and positive and try to be in the company of such people. If we feel the need, we can take inspiration from great people who have lived successful lives. We can do this by reading their biographies or by watching films which portray their lives. For example, it is heartening to read how people like Sudha Chandran, Einstein, etc. overcame their disabilities to reach their goals. I would like to More than that, it takes us into many different worlds. We may actually be seated in our own homes, but the book we are reading may transport us to the moon or to the wilds of Africa. It can give us information about places and things that are far away and which we have never ever seen and may never. Girl, I am glad to present this speech in front of you all. Please lend your ears for a few minutes towards my speech. In the past, our environment was the way God intended it to be. It was green and clean and pristine and fresh. Our forests were thick with trees. Birds, animals, and insects coexisted there in millions. Just take a look at the environment today. You will see concrete jungles and tall skyscrapers hiding the natural scenery, if there is any scenery left to see at all. Almost 11 billion trees are being cut down every year. The amount of pollution is only on the rise. What kind of future can we look forward to? A life of impure air, a host of lung diseases, epidemics, and unheard of ailments? Mercury levels are soaring high. Amount of rainfall has decreased in recent years, leading to high temperatures. Birds and animals are migrating in search of better environment. What can we as students do? We have to do everything in our power to conserve our forests, to conserve the landscape, to manage waste effectively, to keep our earth as natural as Mother Nature intended it to be. We must plant more and more trees. If one tree is cut down, we must plant 2 more to protect our environment. For a better environment and to save our world, let us all work as one. Save trees, save our planet, save humanity. Thank you. So these were the sample examples that I shared with you.
I hope you enjoyed this video, you learned speech writing. Please subscribe to my channel, hit the bell icon so you do not miss out my new videos and for more fresh content. Tell me your views in the comment section, and if you want me to make videos on any other subject, please tell me in the comment section below and share this video. Thank you guys.